to my review for Sully. Sully is a new film starring Tom Hanks and is directed by Clint Eastwood. And it follows the main character, played by Tom Hanks, and it's a true life story about a guy who flew a plane, lifted off, a flock of birds flew into the plane. It began to go down and ended up landing the plane on the Hudson River. It's an incredible real-life story that happened just a few years back in 2009, and soon enough they made a movie out of it. So I was very, very excited for Sully. I thought that the trailers looked great. Tom Hanks is one of my favorite actors. He's my number 2 next to Toshiro Mifune. And Clint Eastwood is also a really, really good director. So I was pretty excited for this movie. And I can say while it was a letdown and it was somewhat of a disappointment, I liked this movie. I did. Tom Hanks, of course, was fantastic. He was amazing in this role. He was the character. He wasn't an actor acting the role. He was the character. And it's lovely when you can see an actor go that far into their role. And he also could have gone over the top with it, but he did a very subtle acting job that I found that it worked very, very well with the movie. They have a lot of themes about media and what it can do to a person psychologically and physically, and just really what happened after he landed the plane on the Hudson, something extraordinary that had never really been done. And they go into that. They go into the themes of having done something larger than life and having done something so extraordinary and insane, and having the media all over trying to talk to you about it. The cinematography was very, very good. A lot of the shots of New York looked really, really good. Especially, the weather, they shot the weather really, really well. It was sort of in the background, but still, it was just really, really well shot. And the Hudson landing scene, it was somewhat fake. The CGI wasn't too good on it, but the cinematography was still really good. The acting, pretty much from everyone, I know I mentioned Tom Hanks, but pretty much everyone did a really good job in this movie. And the courtroom scene is a scene that I found surprisingly that stood out from the rest. I thought that the Hudson scene would definitely stand out from the rest, but it didn't. This courtroom scene, while it is a bit dramatized, it was a really, really good scene. I really, really enjoyed that scene. So those are my goods for Sully's, and I do have some bads. Some of the CGI didn't look too good. There was some CGI of a dream sequence or daydream sequence, and that looked bad. That looked pretty bad, but I think that fit well because it was his daydream. But some of the other CGI, some of the Hudson River CGI, it just didn't look real and it looked quite fake. It had a very odd start. It just sort of starts in the middle without any really beginning. It just is bang, there you go, you're starting right here. And I think that a movie needs to have a beginning to be a real movie, but I don't know, that's just me. And also it jumps through time a lot. It goes back and forth to different places, and that eventually, I just don't think that worked well for the movie. I understand why they did it with the Hudson landing scene, but a couple of the other things, they went back to his childhood, and that was completely unnecessary. That was 5 minutes of the movie completely wasted that really didn't need to be in there. And there was just a couple scenes that were like that. A lot of scenes in here didn't really need to be in here. Therefore, the editing it wasn't very good. But overall, I liked Sully. It's not a very memorable movie. I don't have a lot to say about it, except it's a good movie. I wouldn't necessarily recommend you go see it, but if you're looking for a movie, it's not a bad one to see. So I give Sully a 6.25 or 6 1/4 out of 10. Good movie, not great. Alright, that concludes my review. I am Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.